while dwelling amongst you, the simple, materialistic, carnal-minded ones, without enough vision to see past your noses, swearing that you know the pedigree from which I come. I kept my mouth closed because I wasn't sure if handling your kind might endanger or submit me to possibly missing my destiny. Well, guess what? The chickens have come home to roost. The deed is now done. I got some time for your goofy asses now. The rabbit got the gun. See, unbeknownst to you, the last shall become first when the last live by spiritual guidelines and faith. So while you had my mistakes on the tip of your tongue and what looked like shortcomings at the center of your laughter, I chose to walk the talk to make a way for mine, yours, and any thereafter. So when this book drop, I'll be sure to listen up for hit dogs hollering, because some of you come in disguise, pretending to be of the same frequency, but actually quite devilish inside, sabotaging from a distance with assumptions and lies while living close at the same time. I had my mind on bigger, more meaningful things like breakthroughs and spiritual awakenings. I could care less about who you effing, my girl, or who she effing. Shh, you can have her. Habits die hard. If she was worth me losing my life and purpose, I would have been put lead in both of you as soon as I heard it. See, one day I'm trying to hear job well done, good and faithful servant. Every day I live for inspirational direction. So even though I can't run from such destructive thoughts, I'm more powerful when I put it on paper as opposed to walking it out. See, God gave me this gift to inspire and uplift. So for my sake, I choose to keep it that way. You ain't get away with a thing, more like ran into a blessing. The power of purpose is the only thing that kept me from crashing out through the gossip and the lies, the self-victimization of certain situations, and all the humiliation. Just know that I see it all. But my assignment, I choose not to waste it on things so minuscule and especially not on you. The simple, the carnal-minded, the lack of knowledge type, the live by only what's on the surface type, all of you keep loose tongues. But quiet as it's kept, your real problem is dealing with yourself. That's battle rap. That's the next to the last poem in the book. And, to be honest with you, I fought with myself about even putting that in there. Uh, it contains some old thoughts, some old feelings. Uh, it contains some some vibes towards some folk that I still probably don't even know of. But I fought against putting it in the book because those kind of really what amount to vengeful feelings and anger. It's no place. The only place they have in your walk or my walk is to distract us and keep us from getting to where we're going. And when you can be manipulated by such levels of anger, uh, such destructive thoughts, you definitely can miss out on what you was put here for. You know, uh, you know, I did a lot of reading. I was able to find the power in forgiveness. I know that's tough. Even right now, I battle with some things. Uh, but the reason I decided to put battle rap in there, the reason why I went on and decided to put it in there, uh, is because it was part of the journey, and it was a real part of the journey. And just like some of the other spiritual and emotional issues that are in the book, this one had to go in there too. So as far as my past, all my people are forgiven. I do all I can not to deal with that. The only thing that holding a grudge gonna do for you or for me or for anybody else that's walking around holding it is it's going to continue to poison us and slow us down and distract us and keep us. The forgiveness ain't for the other person. The forgiveness is for you. The forgiveness is for me. So like I said, there's a lot of stuff in there. There's a lot of emotions in there that go up and down. Um, but be careful how you talk. Be careful what you feel like you want to do to people at a particular time. You don't never know where they at. It ain't no way to guarantee the reaction that's supposed to be, right? You might get the other reaction. You might get another reaction from somebody. And we can't put something out there and then try to dictate what the reaction gonna be simply because the reaction might be right or wrong. Once it's out there, you don't know what you're dealing with. So that was part of me going through the process of should I include it, shouldn't I include it? I know I submitted like a couple of different versions of the book, one time without it, one time with it, and then I finally, like I said a few minutes ago, I finally just came to the conclusion and say, look, that's part of the journey. If anybody got any questions, talk to me. Uh, you know, if it poke you, you might need to be poked. So that's that. The name of that is Battle Rap. I had a little glitch in there where I was reading, but I think I did a pretty good job with keeping it clear. One thing I got to get good at is memorizing my work. Uh, when I started this, when I realized that this was part of my journey and part of my purpose, uh, it was during the time in the early '90s when spoken word wasn't really that popular, especially this far down south. And so I wasn't really into writing it down and memorizing it and performing it. All I knew I was doing, I was writing it. So I would write stuff and put it to the side, really. And so that habit continued on through the years. And then as the power of spoken word and uh, the I was gonna say pageantry, but I don't want to take it that far. The entertainment level of spoken word as it grew and spread across the country, uh, I never put that habit away of not committing my stuff to memory, but it tends to me, in my opinion, it tends to have a more powerful punch when you can when you do have your stuff committed to memory and then you can kind of play with it. And it don't necessarily sound like you read. You kind of play with it emotionally and how it's delivered. So that's the next part of this. That's the next part of the journey. Anyway, my sinus is messed up. Um, Purpose, passion, and love. A link to to the book is gonna be in the description, like always. Y'all subscribe to the channel, share the channel, like, comment, subscribe. Pretty soon we're gonna take one of these topics and go live with it and see what kind of response we can get. We're gonna go live with one of these topics and get a little discussion on. But for now, put your comments in the comment section, and we go through a little discussion like that. But that was Battle Rap. That's the second piece out of the book, y'all. And then we're gonna work on it and see what's next. I'm gonna go by feel. I'm probably just skip around and go by feel and see what comes next. But after I did Fifth Dimension Knowledge and Wisdom the other day, for some reason Battle Rap just came up. Uh, you know, like I say, anything that I know about, even the stuff I don't know about, people I may not know about, included in that past. That's all forgiven, uh, but it had to come out of my system that way in order for me to deal with things in a more positive way than the way it probably could have went. Anyway, Purpose, Passion, and Love. The book is available on Amazon. I'm gonna put a link in the description. Be careful with how you play with folk. And that ain't no one-way message. The same thing, I gotta understand the same thing too that go for me too. But that's just knowing uh, what certain things did to me and what kind of person I was on the verge of turning into because of certain things that went on along those lines. Purpose, Passion, and Love. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see y'all on the next video. Peace.